Yep. And that should give you a pretty good idea of what to expect from this show. Considering how little faith we have in Disney and Lucasfilm these days, it's not like we expected The Acolyte to be anything but an absolute disaster. But holy shit. Now, while Disney will tell you that the premiere numbers were amazing as they always are, according to Disney, and Rotten Tomatoes will gladly show certain numbers as well, the truth is that once again, reality is often disappointing. So, let's get into it. So we start off with what I'm sure they thought was going to be a gripping action sequence in which an unknown assailant walks up to Trinity to start some shit. Trinity then takes her time getting up while her friends are getting their asses kicked and proceeds to have a Matrix fight while forgetting that she has a lightsaber. Were you excited to see Carrie-Anne Moss as a Jedi? Well, don't be. She dies 5 minutes in. Oh wow, now she's peacefully asleep. Unless it's not the same unknown assailant from earlier.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
While this is predictable and obvious, it could have at least been a small twist if Disney didn't flip their marketing and give this away in a trailer a few weeks ago. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a chud.
Their grease grabbers are disposable. Our cargo is not.
Hey, it's the Trade Federation! They have toned those accents way down. Now, I have seen more fighting over this scene in the last few days than almost anything else, which is shocking, quite frankly. The amount of people still willing to suck up to Disney and pretend this isn't absolute trash is astounding. Now, I know that this is sci-fi, fantasy, make-believe with space wizards and laser swords and requires a suspension of disbelief. But fire in space. That's a pretty obvious detail to miss. Does Disney just not give a shit, like at all? I know we have diversity to focus on, but come on now. And to make it worse, she just sort of stares at it to really let it sink in. Disney. Moving on! And now we meet Yord, the young Jedi who will soon show himself to be less than useless, and his Padawan, who mysteriously changes later, here to interrogate Osha.
A major concern about admitting you to the Order was your age.
And the fact that you were mourning. You lost your entire family. Your mothers.
Your mothers. Because of course. They did tell us it was gonna be gay. At this point, it is painfully obvious that not only is there a twin sister, but she clearly didn't die in the fire with her mothers. Also pretty remarkable that despite many years having passed with zero contact, these twins have miraculously kept the exact same hairstyle.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Have you noticed the complete lack of diversity in this show? What a lovely view. So nice to see Coruscant again, but all this shot does is make you realize just how far Star Wars has fallen and makes me miss better Star Wars. Yes, even the prequels at their worst. Disney wishes they could. Once again, anything but white men, eh, Disney? Jokes aside, let's give Lee Jung-jae some credit, and I really hope I said that correctly. Apparently, he's a massive Star Wars fan. He took inspiration from Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon for his performance, and even learned English specifically for this role. In a cast that is filled with diversity hires and their terrible acting, he might be the only one in this polished turd of a show who genuinely gives a shit and is trying his best. What a shame to be a lifelong fan of something only to become a part of it when it is absolutely in decline. So, Osha, who was suspected of murdering a Jedi Master and would most likely be considered a high-priority prisoner, is put on an automated prison transport back to Coruscant. And when I say automated, there's literally nothing but droid pilots and a droid warden, but I'm sure that will be enough. But hey, we finally see some white men in the cells next to her. I guess they finally found a role they would be comfortable casting them in. And remember, kids...
Well, I mean, white people crying actually was the goal.
I have never understood this guy's appeal. Seriously. The white male criminals hatch a plan to escape, which Osha declines to participate in. And the plan kicks off when one of the prisoners, a droid of some kind, is able to hack into the droid pilots on the bridge, which is maybe 10 feet away. Who wrote this shit? Seriously. And just to make the point absolutely clear, they break out of prison and leave her to die as the ship crashes, while she heroically tries to save the one remaining prisoner, another white male, who also leaves her to die. Aren't those white folks just the worst? So now the ship is crashing and all I can think of is that I am bored and would rather be doing almost anything else. The ship crashes. From space. Buckle up. Fuck me, this is stupid. Master Soul gets questioned by the smartass Padawan, who is now a completely different Padawan from who we saw earlier, about emotional attachment, which, if you remember, is bad. He is then told to get a small team together to investigate the crash and decides to bring our useless Jedi with his completely different Padawan. And for reasons which we can only begin to guess at, we get this scene. Why? Back to Osha, who survived a crash from space and wakes up to a creepy little girl, and oh snap, it's a vision! A vision or a flashback? Who gives a shit?
How well do you know Osha?
We get some more questions from the smartass Padawan, where Master Soul assures us that May, Osha's evil twin, is dead, and in fact, he saw her die.
I was there when her sister started a fire that killed her entire family. Osha was the sole survivor. I took her as my partner.
Do you think that...
No. May is dead. That was her name. May. I saw her die.
Well, I'm glad we settled that.
No way she could have survived this.
Clearly you've never heard of
Black girl magic!
After landing in a brief chase, Yord once again demonstrates his usefulness by appearing to use his lightsaber as a flashlight. We're given a touching reunion, and Osha willingly going along with her former master. Seems like a nice ending, right?
The Jedi live in a dream. A dream they believe everyone shares.
Ooh, he's monologuing. He's monologuing.
If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail. Steel or laser are no threat to them. But an acolyte kills without a weapon.
Well, turns out episode 2 wasn't nearly as bad as this. It was just boring as hell, even with the fat Jedi. Local Jedi Temple. This sounds like a police precinct in a bad part of the inner city. Maybe it's just me, but I would have assumed the Jedi would have given their local temples proper and descriptive names. And let's be real, this looks more like a dive bar or a brothel. So you're telling me the single point of security for the local Jedi Temple is one droid and can be incapacitated by this one little magnet? Nothing else to stop her from just strolling right in? If I didn't know better, I would swear that this is all done on purpose to make the Jedi look incompetent. So, Lesbian Headlamp did say this was supposed to be Frozen meets Kill Bill. I guess the sisters are the Frozen part. Anyway, May is on a revenge tour, and for reasons that I'm sure will be badly explained as we go along, there are 4 Jedi that she's after. Trinity was the first, and Tommen Baratheon with the really bad beard is next. And when Attack Me With All Your Strength does not work, there she goes killing without a weapon again. Look at her Spider-Man up that wall when Jedi security comes in, glances around, and leaves. What a shame that these Jedi have to rely on their senses. If only there was some sort of force they could use to sense and detect the presence of other people, especially evil other people who would seek to harm them. But what am I saying? That's just silly. And now we're back with Osha, our totally different Padawan, Yord the Useless, and Master Soul, who have all been informed of May's attack on the super-duper highly secure local Jedi temple and are sent off to investigate. Back to May, and introducing Asian Ezra Miller. So remember when they said an Acolyte kills without a weapon?
I need a weapon. I have 2 Jedi to kill after Torben. And I will kill one of them without a weapon and please the Master.
Who the hell is writing this? So Agent Ezra Miller makes her the poison. And it's not even a day later, it's been maybe 12 hours since May was able to sneak in past the single security droid, cause a big ruckus, and yet she was able to come right back and do it all again. So the grand plan for confronting the single apothecary in town where May got the weapon she's not supposed to use to kill is to send Osha in to talk to Agent Ezra Miller and hope that that identical hair is enough for him to not figure it out. So glad the Jedi Master brought along this Padawan to give them all instructions. But that's the power of Disney's Star Wars writing, y'all.
If you cooperate, we will consider letting you go with a warning.
So how is it that we just went from the way they've been treating Osha for supposedly killing a Jedi Master to now telling Agent Ezra Miller, we'll let you off with a warning for literally being a direct accomplice?
I offer you a choice. Confess your crime to the Jedi Council, or receive the forgiveness you seek right here, right now.
So that's it? He did something so bad that he took a vow of silence and hid himself behind an impenetrable shield. Until he willingly drops it and decides to kill himself because she asked nicely.
I will confront her.
No, I must face her alone.
You brought me here.
I didn't know you were still so angry.
She killed my family. She destroyed my life.
This is grief. Let it go.
You are not my master. I do not need your permission to go out there and confront her. I deserve justice.
You want revenge. Look what revenge has done to your sister.
Y'all wish you could evoke the better parts of Star Wars writing. I guess she decided to try and kill without a weapon for once. Until she didn't again. And again. Okay, seriously, is this the Jedi version of Pocket Sand?
Pocket sand! Yeah!
Aw, what a nice reunion. Dumbass. Okay, I'll admit that my first impression of seeing a Wookiee Jedi was a big, nostalgic, and heartwarming. And then I say that they gave him a fucking man bun. We just can't have nice things, can we, Disney? And that's it? Well, shit. Based on what we've heard about Episode 3, I'm not looking forward to it.